Doktor, boleh saya cakap dengan anak saya? Atika, ayah tak okey Atika. Ayah ada kat hospital. Atika jaga diri baik-baik. Jaga mak, jaga adik-adik. Ayah minta maaf banyak-banyak dengan Atika.
ICU stands for Intensive Care Unit or Critical Care Unit. So when a COVID patient actually ended up in ICU, we are more worried because these are the more serious patients and some of them may not make it.
And so the first patient was quite scary, I would say, because he was ill, he was intubated and oxygen saturations weren't really that great, so we had to prone him.
I was with my specialist that time, we put on the tube. Initially it was okay, but
I told them, one of the family members, your father is actually going to die soon, right?
Some death can happen just in a split of second. Actually, life is very fragile and we doctors are only human beings. We can also die.
Hello, ICU, Sister Danny. Boleh hantar patient ya?
I'm very lucky I got a team of them who's actually very supportive.
It is true, we took the oath to serve our patients and serve the community.
My father was quite worried, but he didn't say no. He said it's a very good deed, you should go ahead.
you learn to appreciate all the simple things in life and be thankful with what you have.
Must serve and also a good teamwork.
Tak kira you doctors, UMO, semua saling bantu.
Always prepare for the worst. Together we can make it.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Selwyn, MO in charge of COVID screening today. Can I help you? Selamat pagi Encik Rosli. KK Sungai 2 transfer satu patient suspected COVID dalam 20 minit.
Encik Rosli, daripada bilik gerakan, kita memerlukan unit keselamatan hadir ke jabatan untuk mengusang pesakit masuk ke ward C20 sekarang.
Usually our emergency department will see about 350 to 400 patients a day. But of course, during this time of outbreak, our workload did increase drastically during that time.
Tengok atas sikit. Pesakit COVID datang masa yang berbeza. Ini bermaksudnya bilik gerakan sentiasa bersedia di dalam masa 24 jam.
Some days there will be a lot of patients. There's a guy down there. So.
Hello, ICU, Sister Danny. Nak hantar patient ya? Sekejap ya, saya check.
We are considered frontliner, right? But I think we are the last defense of the frontliner. So when a COVID patient actually ended up in ICU, actually we are more worried because these are the more serious patients, and the likelihood is some of them may not make it.
Boleh hantar patient ya?
I was in the field of anesthesia and intensive care actually since 1993. So I remember I first heard about this somewhere during Chinese New Year Eve. We heard that Wuhan was locked down and there's something called Wuhan pneumonia, and it's very similar. That time I think we heard, is it like 80% like SARS? To me, that was actually quite horrifying because maybe I'm one of the few in Malaysia who had the opportunity to be involved in the management of SARS patient in 2003. It's like a war zone, or maybe we may die after that. So I thought that is coming back, and so the first thing that I did was actually try to dig out checklist that we had for 2003.
On March 13, 2020, Penang General Hospital ICU received the first severe COVID-19 case. In the intensive care unit, all staff were on alert at any time.
Ayub, saya Dr. Eric. Okay, doktor pakai merawat di ICU ni, Dr. Suhasan dan Dr. Sioni. Keadaan Encik Ayub semakin penat. Okay, Encik Ayub pun nafas makin penat. So apa yang kita akan buat? Kita akan masukkan alat bantuan pernafasan. Okay, dia akan masuk mengikut mulut Encik Ayub ke dalam rongga pernafasan. Okay, tapi jangan risau, kita akan bagi umpat supaya Encik Ayub ni tidur selesa. Okay, Encik Ayub faham ke? Nak tanya apa-apa tak?
Doktor, boleh saya cakap dengan anak saya?
Nak cakap dengan anak? Boleh. Tapi zaman COVID ni kita tak bagi mereka datang. So kita cakap melalui telefon sajalah. Okey?
The first patient we intubated in Penang GH was, I was in the team to attend that patient. And when we attended him, he was very breathless. But we are unable to call the family members to come and meet him, as the family members were also one of the suspects. We could only inform through the phone, and even when they came, we had to tell them that they are one of the suspects and they are not supposed to walk around, they have to quarantine themselves. So that was a difficult moment in managing this COVID patient.
Hello?
Hello, Atika.
Hello, Ayah?
Atika.
Ayah okey ke?
Ayah tak okey, Atika. Ayah dah kat hospital.
Ayah minta maaf, Ayah. Kami tak dapat nak melawat Ayah dekat hospital. Ayah kena jaga diri baik-baik, Ayah. Ayah jangan risaukan benda lain, okey?
Ya, Atika. Atika pun sama. Atika jaga diri baik-baik. Jaga mak, jaga adik-adik.
Jaga diri baik-baik, Ayah.
Ya, Atika. Ayah minta maaf banyak-banyak dengan Atika.
Kami pun minta maaf, Ayah. Just jaga diri baik-baik, tak payah risau, okey?
Baik, Atika.
We will see you soon, Ayah.
Okey, Atika.
Some parts are very emotional because we will be the last person to speak to the patient themselves, and they may not wake up after that, they may not make it. So that is a difficulty also to face, to know that they won't be able to meet their family members after that. So there are many challenges actually to overcome in this.
So the sad thing was, in this era of COVID during the movement control order, so number one, they can't come to hospital, there are no visiting hours. Even though doctors and nurses, we are here to help, but we don't share that emotional bond and I would say commitment and love as much as the family member would. Okay, sekejap kita nak bagi baring dulu lah, lepas tu kita akan tukar topeng oksigen. Perlahan. Okey. Mungkin rasa penat sikit bila turun. Okey.
After ending the video call, the doctor on duty must race against time and perform tracheal intubation for the patient.
Okay, ready team? Okay, let's go. Okay, inducing. Okay, 30 seconds up. Let's intubate.
No matter how experienced the medical staff were, they were still trembling and walking on thin ice in the face of tracheal intubation.
More than 50% of them will require intubation or ventilatory support. The healthcare worker can actually acquire the disease from intubating, because when we intubate a COVID patient, actually we are putting a tube into their airway. The person intubating is very close to the patient's face, right, or airway and the mouth, and it's like can be just a few centimeters away.
Because he's our first patient, and we have been rehearsing all the while, and we must make sure that nothing goes wrong. So that was a big challenge running in my mind. So if we fall sick, then everybody will have this one, at the corner of the head, they'll be like, oh, this is very dangerous.
From the beginning to the end of the intubation, The doctor controlled it within 90 seconds. They succeeded in this first actual battle.
It's one of the highlights of my time here in COVID team, because it gives you the satisfaction, even though you sweat and it was very tiring and very tedious, and you see those successful cases, and it's very satisfying for me as a nurse to be in the team. Very rewarding.
Thank you to our intensivist at this time. I think without her, we wouldn't make it a successful process so far. So that none of us got infected and all that. So really would like to thank her from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't have done alone in this. We all are a team in this.
And what the medical team must face next was a long tug of war between life and death.
Because the thing is, with patient in ICU, very sick patient, they need a lot of medication going in continuously, infusions. So you need to change the medication every hour, so you have no time to leave the room. So by the time the medication finish, you need to change, you need to monitor the patient, because sometimes the blood pressure really goes down and up very fast. You don't take the risk of going out and then you see the blood pressure coming down and then put on new PPE and come in. You just wait in the room with PPE the whole shift. When you are doing your work, you don't really feel the need to drink, but once you stop, all this urge start coming, and then you suddenly feel hungry, you suddenly feel thirsty, you need to go to the toilet, all come at the same time.
So with that, actually, it's a very stressful life. I never stressed it before with this COVID like that. The staff at 100 over had to take care, safety of them, and the roster to assign them. I'm very lucky I got a team of them who's actually very supportive. We have no reject. That is the one make me so proud of them. But in my heart, I just only keep on praying for them.
Regardless of any religion, prayer has the power to calm and keep a peace in mind. However, the prayer this time was not fulfilled.
And so the first patient was quite scary, I would say, because he was ill, he was intubated, and his oxygen saturations weren't really that great, so we had to prone him. We were actually the chosen people on that particular day to actually prone him and turn him around.
Right, team? Okay, so saturations are not improving despite optimal ventilation, so we are going to prone the patient, right? So before that, we get everything ready, okay, and disconnect necessary.
It is already quite difficult because they will have lines on their hands, their feet, not to mention the tube is also a difficult thing for them to turn. So more so in this era of COVID, so we don't want the tube to suddenly disconnect and disperse the virus everywhere into the environment. Although we are in our protective suits, but we will now be in really close contact with the patient, okay, literally touching the patient, okay, and then turning him.
Okay, good. iPads on. Okay, all stable. Okay, team, that's ready. So we're going to reposition the patient. Okay, so we're going to pull him to the left, right? And then we're going to prone him right side. Okay, right, secure the tube and other tubings. Okay, 1, 2, 3, pull. Okay, team, 90 degrees. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, and ready. Prone tube, okay? 1, 2, 3, prone. Okay, let's move the hip, guys. Okay, make sure it's central, the chest. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the arms together. Okay, 1, 2, turn.
So then the process of turning him also was stressful also, because at any moment suddenly it's just plastic connections, so the risk of suddenly disconnecting and the sense of worry and guilt for my staff around me, so that for me was more challenging and something I wouldn't forget for a long time.
Okay, let's put the roll. Okay, hips first. Okay, ready, Irfan? 1, 2, lift. Okay, right, then chest. Okay, ready, chest. 1, 2, up.
There's always a chance that, is my filter working? Are there any holes in my equipment? If I took 100% precaution, did my partner take the full precaution? So there's always the fear of me contracting the disease. So for me, that was kind of the biggest challenge.
1, 2, up. 1, 2, in. Okay. Dan jom alalang selimut lah.
Cik Tika, selamat petang. Saya Dr. Suhasan daripada Hospital Pulau Pinang. Kami ingin memaklumkan bahawa ayah Cik amat tenat dan tidak stabil. Kami telah cuba sedaya upaya untuk membantu beliau tetapi tiada daya. Minta maaf Cik, tapi ayah Cik sudah tidak banyak masa lagi.
All of us, we have that kind of spirit that we want to make sure everyone is safe. And when our patient recovered, we also very happy. In fact, very few patients came to us. We also very happy because that's what we want. We want, like, if possible, we don't want anyone to die from COVID, right?
I told them, one of the family members, your father is actually going to die soon, right? So any wish that you want to tell, because I am a Muslim, definitely I have to whisper something. I will have to pray at the patient family side.
Doktor, bolehkah saya datang nak melawat ayah saya buat kali terakhir?
Minta maaf Cik, disebabkan keadaan pandemik sekarang, kami sukar untuk membenarkan pelawat untuk melawat ahli keluarga.
Walaupun di saat terakhir, Doktor, sekurang-kurangnya boleh tak kalau saya nak baca surah Yasin untuk dia?
Boleh Cik.
Because the family actually try to convey the message, right? But they can't come and they can't convey the message. I can't imagine. If I am part of the family members, definitely I'll want to cry and actually want to. Definitely I can't take it. But after I calm myself, break for a short period of while, and I just talk to the family calmly, tell that this is one of the standard procedure. We don't want to be other all the family members and the staff or healthcare worker to be infected. Sometimes the family members come, they just need they need some sort of a calming or soothing words from doctors. You have to tell them, you have to calm the family. They just want to hear that your father actually died with peaceful period of time lah.
Puan, Encik, saya Dr. Eric dari ICU. Saya yang merawat arwah ayah dekat ICU lah. So, ni kita nak pass over harta benda arwah. Okay. Kita maaf lah, masa COVID ni kita memang tak boleh bagi keluarga terdekat untuk jumpa patient pada saat-saat terakhir. So, ni kita bagi dia kepada keluarga lah.
So, they actually express the gratitude and thank you for the effort that we did during the father admitted to our ICU. I feel that moment, I feel that I don't know what to say lah. I just said that no worry, this is our duty. And in fact, I feel that at that moment, actually, I want to cry lah. No, not to say a cry, but a tears for them. Yeah.
This COVID sort of reminding us that actually life is very fragile and we doctors are only human beings. We can also die. Okay, when it happens, I guess we have to face it, and I'm sure from this COVID, many of us learn something from the experience.
You learn to appreciate things in life, simple things in life, like you are able to go home every day without worry. You learn to appreciate all your toilet breaks, all your communication with your colleagues. Always be prepared, mentally, physically, emotionally.
When I was actually devastated or stressful, they calm me down. They just tell me, if you want to take a break, you just take a break, right? Teamwork, and also good bosses like a family. Even though I'm actually far apart from my family.
Of course, I'm sad that I'm away from family, but I'm glad that they are safe at home. That gives me a lot of happiness in me.
And to my family, I would probably say that, yeah, you know, with love and support, and we have each other, so whatever comes around, probably we will still pull it through. Everything is going to be fine.
Malaysia, we can actually do quite well, and that part I'm actually proud of it, and I think our healthcare system is actually in place, and this is many people's effort, and as a team only we can do it.
The medical staff in the intensive care unit, who safeguarded in the last line of defense, fought with death day after day to save lives. Facing the impermanence of life and death was a norm to them. They had no time to wallow in grief. For the sake of the country and people, they put on their armours with no hesitation and went ahead with their mission.
What if I had the virus onto me? And what if I infect the people around me, especially my parents? I decided to move out to my friend's place, and I never went back home.
Wake up from my sleep, open my eyes, the first thing is COVID-19. We have no choice because we are the one who run the PCR.
Kita menghadapi keadaan yang lebih teruk daripada apa yang kita hadapi yang lepas. Kita terpaksa juga mencipta proses-proses yang baru. Misalnya tentang cara pengurusan jenazah ni tidak pernah kita buat sebelum ini.
It was a sleepless night. I was constantly worried. It feels like I'm walking on hot coals.
Semua orang nak tengok untuk have a last respect pada keluarga, tapi tidak boleh.
It is repetitive. Every day we are doing the same thing. One whole day, 24 hours, thinking about COVID-19.
Walaupun kita tahu bahawa ianya boleh membawa pada penyakit pada pihak kita, tapi kita terpaksa buat.